It's a tuba player thing, I think. So
Okay.
it requires really flappy lips. All right, here we go. We're back in 3, 2, 1.
Coming up this week on the Nintendo Directors Podcast, we go over the juicy details from the other day's Nintendo Direct, celebrate the Switch's 1-year birthday, give impressions of Mario Odyssey Balloon World DLC, and more.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Brad.
We're 2 middle school band directors.
And you're listening to
Nintendo Directors. Hello, welcome once again to a Nintendo Directors Podcast episode. This is episode number 3017. It is March 11th. What? March 11th? Yes.
That's late, Mark. Very late.
It is very late. Yeah, March 11th of 2018. I've been sick. I've been incredibly sick. I had the flu this last week, and that pushed our recording date back 3 days after our actual supposed release date of this episode. So, whatever.
About a week, yeah.
Yeah. We were going to record last week, and then it got away from us, and then I got sick when we were going to record again, and then, well, here we are. So, we're a little bit late, but whatever. I'm feeling probably a good chunk better. I'm not even going to I was going to put a percentage on it, but I'm just going to say I'm feeling a good chunk.
You just
better.
said chunk.
Yes.
A chunk bet.
Yeah.
Welcome to Nintendo Pukers.
Yeah,
we are here for...
I actually didn't throw up, so that was good.
Oh,
It
okay.
was just a lot of fever, chills, and aches and fun stuff. So, but I'll talk about that more in depth later about what we've been playing when we get to that segment. So, anyways, just a heads up for you. By the way, I'm Mark, and my co-host is Brad. Mark,
Greetings.
yeah, we are band directors, and just so you know that we are an every other week podcast. Although this one is an every other week and then some
Plus.
podcast. Yes, plus, yes, new.
Bonus, yes.
The new.
We do this
whatever.
for you, folks.
Yes, so, but yeah, we try to get this out by Thursday at 9 a.m. and that's usually when we do. But this week it's later. So, anyways, let's get into what we need to get into because there is a lot to get into.
Oh my goodness, so much.
Yeah, so here we go. The news is going to be brought to you by the Nintendo Direct of all things.
Nintendo flew it in just for us.
Yes,
They queued it up. Yes, they knew.
Sorry, Nintendo.
They had to come through for us. Yeah,
we didn't get this out on time, but whatever. All right, here we go. So we'll do our news bumper right now. All right, it's the news. A Nintendo Direct happened. So, Brad, was there anything important in the Nintendo Direct?
Nothing.
Great. All right, let's move on
boring.
to what we've been playing. Oh.
No, not so much. This was an excellent Direct.
Yeah, it was.
In fact, I've been pretty impressed with the last couple of Directs, really. I mean, the Labo thing was pretty interesting. I mean,
Neat.
not quite a formal. Yeah, neat is the good word there. But the last couple actual Directs have been fairly substantial. I think they've really. I mean, it helps that the Switch has been kind of taken off, and I think because they were sitting on all of these amazing games of the last year or so for so long. When they were switching from Wii U to Switch. That now they're like, yes, we have lots of things to say all the time.
Right.
So
towards the end of the Wii U, I was like, the house that Mario built is just Mario.
Basically.
Zelda eventually,
and more Mario, and
now it's amazing. So
yeah, that's great. So there's tons of stuff. Obviously, the most important thing that came from this Direct was Dusty Diamond.
Yeah, it's coming back. Oh man, I'd buy a remake of that so fast. No, they could add some characters from that game into this first game we're going to talk
there
about.
You go.
Go ahead.
Dylan's Deadhead Breakers. Have you ever heard of that game?
No.
It is coming, but
that's
that's for later.
Yeah.
It's Super Smash Brothers, right? I mean, come on.
Yes.
Now, we all knew this was coming, right? But there's something special about they actually did it. And,
Yes.
we could have just been sitting here, so excited about the fact that we're getting a Smash Brothers, even though we already knew it. But there's something different about when they actually are like, yes, this is here. And they did it, of course, in true Smash Brothers style.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That trailer, I mean, if you haven't seen it, essentially, they, they just finished all the updates about Splatoon 2, which we'll get to later. And then they said, oh, we got one more thing. And
very Nintendo of them.
Right. And honestly, I wasn't quite sure what to expect because it started off with more Splatoon stuff, which it wouldn't have surprised me really if their one more thing, again, we love Nintendo, but sometimes their one more thing is we get an extra level on a game you already know about.
Right.
So here it was, the Splatoon guys running around and the boy and the girl, and then they're just running, and all of a sudden it gets dark, very dark, and
sweet.
Man, just like it zooms in on the one character there, and all of a sudden you see the lighting sort of coming from the far side, and then in the girl, I think it's the girl, Inkling girl's eye.
Yeah. Smash logo.
The Smash logo, and it's all like fire and flames, and then
yes.
and then there's these big silhouettes of lots of characters that obviously they're silhouettes, so they don't identify them exactly outside of
enough to give
the beginning there.
Everyone like reason to hit pause and speculate. And
That's right. They did show Mario right away, and they
Yep.
showed Link.
Yep.
And of note, of course, is that the Link that they showed was the Breath of the Wild Link.
Yes.
So that's awesome. It's and then of course at the end of the trailer it just said Super Smash Bros. 2018. So what do you think, Mark?
December 31st of 2018. There will be a direct that says, "Please be patient. Please understand."
This is true.
No, if it's 2018, it's got to be holiday. That's fine, and that's great. That gives me something to look forward to. So.
It would totally make sense if it was this holiday, because unless they're actually planning on releasing Pokemon or Metroid Prime this year, which, yeah, I mean, maybe I really kind of doubt it, but
Yep.
That would seem to make sense if it was their big fall game for the year. So there was one more kind of side story on this, is that obviously when people saw that it was a Smash Brothers game, they're like, well, I wonder if Sakurai is working
Yes.
on it, the main designer on it for basically since its inception.
Yep.
And eventually he did respond and just say, yep, I'm working on it.
The poor guy.
I know.
Let him sleep now. Let him just sleep for the rest of the eternity.
Hey, let's be real now. Smash Brothers for Wii U released, 2014? And was it the end of 20? I mean, I guess they were doing DLC for the next probably year or so, extra characters and whatnot, but I mean, they had a little bit of a break. It would be nice, I know am I mistaking this? He was the one who also worked on Kid Icarus for the 3DS years ago?
I believe so, yeah.
So he got a little bit of creative freedom there, but yeah, I could totally see,
well, and it's not even the creative freedom. It's the fact that he has to listen to everybody after the game is launched just crap on the game's mechanics. Like, this isn't like the old one, or you need to nerf this character. And it's like, come on, it's a great game. It's always a great game. So,
dude, I played so much Melee, and it was fantastic. But, man, there are so many quality of life features that have just come along in the future iterations, and I really think Smash 4, the Wii U version, is my favorite. Like, I think it's the best.
Yeah, for me it's the most playable. Just with fine-tuning of mechanics and the way it feels when you hold the controller and play it, I think it's the best there has ever been. I'm sure there are people that would disagree, but I'm not a huge Smash player. I enjoy playing Smash, and I think it's a fun game. For me, because I've actually picked up all 4 of them in the last year.
Wow.
Smash 4 for Wii U is far and away the most playable. It's just, you pick it up, you're like, oh, I can do things, and like I know how to do things, and I'm not terrible. And I main Kirby, so
sure,
everyone can look down on me. I don't care. But
no, you look down on them.
That's true.
Right?
That's
as you
true.
come crashing
As
down
I
on you.
rain destruction from above. It's awesome because I'm really good when there's more than one person that I'm playing against. Once it's down to one-on-one, I'm toast. But if it's just like I just float around and watch like the scrum, and then I drop down on them, get out of there, But once
8-player Smash, that's your jam.
Oh man, I'm so good until it gets down to the last 2, and then I always lose. So I'm usually second place, but
okay.
So, anyways,
fair enough.
Yeah,
I've played a lot of Smash, and I'm not super competitive either, but just man, it's the classic like roommates thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
After dinner, all right, guys, let's do a couple of games or whatever
Right.
every night or whatever, and you just kind of you build up your skills and stuff. It's pretty nice. But I
And
honestly,
build up your hatred for your roommate.
right. One of my favorite things has always just been the unlockable stuff. Like there's so much there, and there's so the history of Nintendo. I always, granted on Smash 4, I didn't 100% it because man, some of those challenges are just so absurdly hard. Just like I'll admit, like I'm not good enough to
Sure.
at least not to put in the time for some of those things. So I didn't get
says
everything.
the 999 balloon guy over there before Balloon World. Jeez. All right.
You mean before
or 99 not Power Moons.
Moons.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, so like I didn't 100% it, but I tried and I had a blast doing it. Even I guess there were the times where I was like, all right, I'm playing classic mode as the 47th character. Here we go.
Yep.
And all right, what move can I spam with this guy to get through
right,
it?
Exactly. Oh man, that's why. Yeah. I'll never be a 100% Smash guy.
Right. When they do specific challenges, like do it with Rosalina or Meta Knight or something, and you're just like, I suck with this character, and how do I do
Yeah. This character isn't playable even for people that main them,
So anyway, we've gotten a little off topic, but the fact is, I guess the big question that people are talking about still is, is this a deluxe version of Smash for the Switch, or like as in Mario Kart 8
right.
Deluxe, or is it a brand new game? What do you think?
I think it's a new game. I really think it's a new game. I think
I think so too.
I think they're going to port a decent amount over from the old one. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes with 20% of the levels
characters.
and like most of the same characters.
Yeah.
But I think it's a new game. I really think it's a new game. There's been enough
3
time.
reasons why.
3 reasons why. Well,
yes.
I don't know. I just think it's going to be a new game. I think they've done enough ports. I think it's time for a huge new launch of something. So.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. I think I think it has been several years at this point, and especially with Sakurai working on it, I feel like if it was just going to be a deluxe version with maybe another couple characters, they could probably handle that in house.
Right.
But then again, I guess adding even one new character to a roster is a huge undertaking. So maybe they would need the math, because I believe it's if I'm not mistaken, Sakurai himself, he's like, I'm the one who manages all the balancing like of the characters.
Right.
Like he personally takes that on himself, and so obviously it's been tweaked a lot over the years. But so yeah, I think it's had enough time. I think there's just the success of the Switch, I think, kind of warrants it. And if it was just going to be a deluxe, they could have done it much earlier on. They would have done it much earlier on,
right?
Like they did with Mario Kart 8, because they might have just thrown that out there. Of course, I guess they had to get Mario in that too, but Zelda.
I have this terrible image in my head of Sakurai eating dinner with his family, and then Nintendo executives breaking down the door and hauling him away as his family screams for him. No,
not again!
He's clawing the floor as they pull him out by his shoes.
No, I want to say it's the opposite. Like they're like, "Hey, can we work on another Smash?" Yes, let's do it.
The opposite, where he's like, "See ya, family."
Oh no,
it's time. It is definitely time for another Smash game. See you guys in a decade.
Oh,
anyways,
man.
So we have talked a lot about Smash.
There's so much more.
There's so much more in this direct to get through. So we're
13 minutes more.
Yeah, so we will hit on a few things probably quickly here. So go ahead.
Right. So that was actually the last thing that was in the direct. Obviously, that was the one more thing, like we talked about. There are at the very beginning of the direct, Nintendo, I think wisely, chose to announce a bunch of smaller games, especially games for 3DS. Still, yes, my friends, you heard right. 3DS is still kicking. Alive-ish.
No, they're kicking the 3DS. Like,
oh, there you go.
Poking it with a stick. Are you still?
That's right.
You breathing?
Are you there? Yeah. Okay, so they did actually. I'll say this. I still have my 3DS, and I still play it occasionally. Not very much, but occasionally. And at least a few of the things they announced, I was mildly interested in. WarioWare Gold was the first thing they led off with, actually. Excuse me. And this is kind of like if you remember the what do you call it, the Mario Party 100 All-Star 100 or something like that they released a couple months ago. So 100 of the best levels from Mario Party, and of course they released it on 3DS, which made no sense whatsoever. But it was what it was. This is kind of like that. I think it's sort of a best of version of all the WarioWare games, including and obviously the 3DS has gyro sensor, so it can do the things like from the Game Boy version, the Switch or the Twisted, and it has a touch screen, so it can do the touch from the DS and from the original. And so sort of a mismatch. There's also a bunch of new levels added. Honestly, I love WarioWare. At least I played the crap out of the very first WarioWare game, the Game Boy one, or the Game Boy Advance one.
Yeah.
The very first one. And it's just so wacky, so weird and gross and hilarious and
yes. I played a lot of smooth moves for the Wii, which was up to 11 player. That was fun.
Yeah. So yeah, this is cool. I might seriously consider this. It's I guess if it's priced right, if it's like a full $40 3DS game, I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see. But this looks cool. All right, Dylan's Deadhead Breakers. I have no idea what this is. So my only reference to this is that I'm pretty sure Dylan, who is an armadillo, of course, he was an assist trophy in Smash, if I'm not mistaken, in one of the games. And I'm pretty sure he's had some other 3DS games. Never played it. In the Direct itself, they said the game is sort of action meets tower defense. So there you go. There's a demo going to be available on May 10th. The game releases on May 24th. And apparently you can put your Mii characters in there, which, when I saw the footage on the Direct, that just looks creepy and weird and just unnatural. Really bad.
I was just looking at it. Isn't it like there's some racing elements to it as well?
See, that's what I first thought when I saw it too, which was when they said action meets tower defense. I was like, that doesn't look like action meets tower defense, but I don't know. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I enjoy
so
tower
if you're
defense.
Into that,
I enjoy tower defense games a lot. So maybe.
See, I don't.
Okay.
I dislike them. I actively dislike tower defense games.
I've always been a fan, but that goes back to where tower defense started, which was back with Warcraft 3, with one of the like add-on or mods that someone did for it, and it was like, oh, cool. Or I think it was like I can't remember. It was in Warcraft 3, and then the tower defense genre was born and kind of took off from there. But
right,
yeah. So I don't know what Dylan's.
If you're into it.
If you're into whatever.
That's right. You heard it here first. Second. Never mind. We'll go on.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Next up, Mario and Luigi: Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser's Junior Journey. Bowser Jr.'s Journey
keeps adding on to the title. Eventually, the
Bowser's
title will need the chapters, but
that's right. Bowser's Inside Journey, I've not played it, but I've heard it's actually a quite good.
Same.
It's probably the pinnacle of the Mario and Luigi series. So that is a remake. Bowser Jr.'s Journey, I believe, is a new add-on. If I understood what they said correct. And so it's like another side story basically for what has Bowser Jr. been up to all this time. The thing that kind of was weird to me was that it's releasing in 2019, which
couldn't they have gotten it done last year?
I don't even know. It just seems weird. Like, the Bowser's Inside Story obviously has been done for forever, and the Bowser Jr. Journey is, if that's like a full-on new retail game, I guess, but like, it sounded like more like it was almost like a DLC or something.
It also sounded like a tongue twister.
Something like that, yes. So I'm not quite sure about that, but again, the 3DS is already waning in relevance.
Right.
In early 2018. My goodness, in 2019 they're gonna again just poking, kicking, and just trying to.
At that point, that's the paddles being applied at that point.
Right. So.
All right.
Well, there you go. not quite finally, for the second to last 3DS game, Detective Pikachu. This has been long rumored, and it's weird. It's wacky. If you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out because it's hilarious to see Pikachu with a deep, gravelly PR or private investigator voice. Looks kind of funny, actually. Like a few of the things that they showed, the footage-wise, and some of the dialogue seemed pretty, funny, lighthearted. But it's coming soon, actually. It's March 23rd, and yeah, there's an amiibo coming with it. How would you describe that amiibo,
It's an
Mark?
extra large amiibo, which means it's still smaller than a real Pikachu, but it's a Pikachu statue, so which is also a kind of a tongue twister. So say something Pikachu like statue 3 times fast. Anyways, all right.
Yep. And then finally for 3DS, this one piqued my interest a little bit too. This is, although it's still a little bit strange. So on 3DS we have Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Now they are doing Luigi's Mansion, the original
remake,
and it kind of even. It's really not. I shouldn't have even. I wrote it as remake. It's not. It's just like a port, but for 3DS. Which, in one sense, I guess they added a boss rush mode, which cool, whatever. But that game itself is already so short, and I suppose maybe it's easy to move that to there since they already have the engine for Dark Moon. But why not just put it on Switch?
Right.
Why not just put it on Switch, especially since, people have been clamoring for so long for GameCube, Virtual Console, and that actually makes me a little more concerned about the whole concept of GameCube Virtual Console.
Yeah. Or the concept of Virtual Console in general. But
period, yeah. So that's a little disconcerting, I guess, but it is what it is. I don't know. I could say I might pick this up, but why would I do that? I still have my GameCube hooked up, and I still have my day one GameCube Luigi's Mansion disc.
Yeah.
If I wanted to play it, I could just pull it up. But it's not portable and whatever. But I don't know.
The GameCube has a handle. Of course, it's portable.
Oh, that's right.
It's my favorite aspect of the GameCube. We're gonna put a handle on this because you can't possibly be expected to carry this thing with how massive it is without a handle.
That's right.
It's just awesome.
That is such a quaint little thing, but
so,
I love it.
It's cute.
Yes.
I enjoy the handle. It's part of the charm of it.
It should be like, there's like the hammer throw and the shot put in the Olympics, right?
Yes.
There should be like a GameCube throw.
Yeah, totally.
With that handle on it. It's perfect for it, right?
It is.
Just chuck it. And it would, it would survive.
Yeah,
that machine is
that
so...
would be part of the event. Throw it off a building like a hammer throw in the Olympics, and then run down, plug it back in and play it, and whoever can complete
because it will work.
Yeah.
Nintendo makes their game systems ridiculously sturdy.
All right.
Oh boy.
So
all right, let's get on to some more of the meat of the direct. These are the Switch games that we're talking about.
All right.
Besides Smash, which is really just a dream. So, Kirby Star Allies, which is coming out very soon, this coming week, in fact.
Yes, I downloaded the demo. I'm playing it tonight with my daughter. So.
Oh, I was gonna say, please tell me more,
yes.
But you haven't touched it
Not
yet.
Not yet.
Okay, well, I've heard mixed things about this. But sounds like it would be fun for a parent and their kids to play through together.
That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Especially with your background, with your daughter's background with the other Kirby games. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So look for that. That's coming out this week. I will probably not be playing that, but looks cool if you're into that.
Yeah.
One thing that I am pretty interested in, though, is Okami HD.
Yeah.
This was, I guess it wasn't officially rumored, but I think because Okami HD came out on PS4 and Xbox One, and we were like, why isn't this on Switch? Like every time there's a game announcement, right? So, now it is, or at least it will be this summer.
Yes.
So you can use one thing that's interesting about this. Obviously, it's the full Okami game with some up-res graphics and stuff, but it allows you to use either the touch screen for the because
a lot of
let's see.
painting gestures.
Right, yeah. For I think it's for the combat too, right?
Right.
For the combat /
I think it's like spell
puzzles and world.
Yeah,
something like that. Or you can, if you have the Joy-Con separated, you can actually use the pointer functionality that the Joy-Con offers.
Yep.
Which is cool, just like the Wii Remote.
Yep.
Basically. So yeah, Okami HD.
Did you ever play Okami?
So I played like 30 minutes of it.
Oh, nice.
I think a friend of mine had rented it at one point, and I just decided to play it at their house for a little bit. And I didn't really give it enough of a chance. I think it looks really cool. I do remember the very beginning of the game especially being very text heavy.
Okay.
But I think that game in general is pretty long, and so in the grand scheme of it all, it would make more sense if I played more of the whole thing. But
yeah, I'm excited for it. I never played it. I was actually really close to buying it when it came out on Wii, but then I can't even remember who it was. I think it was someone maybe at like GameStop that was like, yeah, it's kind of like playing the wolf part of Twilight Princess, but that's all you're playing. I was like, oh, okay, I don't need to play it. But I've heard that was very wrong. It's like there's
right.
So I'm excited to check this out.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've heard great things about it. I know I was a little miffed when it first came out because it came out the same year as Twilight Princess, and IGN gave it their Game of the Year over Twilight Princess, which I was, like I said, miffed about. But again, I haven't played the whole thing, so I can't really speak to that.
Yeah, I'm still bitter about it.
Fair enough. So yeah, there you go, Okami HD.
So next,
this one, I love this one. I wrote down word for word the description of the story.
Yes.
that they gave us.
You read the description, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what my wife said as she was watching this part. Go ahead.
So are we going to say the game first?
Read the description.
Okay. Yeah. The story of this game, quote, takes place after the bitter sushi struggles. Raised in a world where sushi is forbidden, Musashi must wage all-out conveyor belt sushi battles to defeat the Empire and topple its sushi monopoly.
To which, when my wife saw this part, she was walking by and she goes, "Huh, that looks pretty Japanese." And then walked out. I was like, "Yeah, that's an understatement. That's perfect." Sushi Striker.
So this is Sushi Striker. Yes. What a wow.
Yes.
just
so
absurd
weird.
And crazy, and again, very Japanese.
Yep.
But it looks like I didn't really understand it. I mean, the way they wrote it is like all out conveyor belt sushi battles. Like that's a thing that everybody just knows.
Yeah, that fits neatly into a genre that everyone is very well acquainted with.
So yeah, there are these conveyor belts going on by. Like, again, I don't eat sushi, so I assume is like in the restaurants that you just kind of pick your own what you want, right?
Yeah, yeah. To me, it kind of looked like, I don't know if you ever played the game. It was originally called Beer Tapper, and then when it was ported to home consoles, it was changed to Root Beer Tapper.
I don't think so. No.
Like you're a bartender, and you're like sliding the right number of beers down the bar to the customers as they line up, and you're switching which bar you're at. It had a little bit of that element. It looked like. Combined with some more like puzzly type elements of what was in front of you, but that's the best description I could give to all out conveyor belt sushi battles. So.
I mean, we can't have that sushi monopoly going. We got to take it down, man.
Yeah.
Just that's just wrong. So, one interesting note is that this game is going to launch simultaneously on 3DS and Switch on June 8th.
Isn't that the last day of the school year?
Not for me. June 1st, mine. Although I think I have to come back that following Monday for professional development.
I am in the wrong district. Okay.
Well, yeah, we had a much shorter Christmas break than you did, though.
Okay.
So
yeah.
And spring break, so it all sort of equals out.
Yeah.
Either way, that's it. Now, I'm going to give this one to you because this next one, because you're much more versed in this game than I am.
Okay, so the next one, Project Octopath Traveler, which still hasn't had its name changed.
No, it has, Mark. It's just called Octopath Traveler.
Yes, it's Octopath Traveler. I mean, why didn't they call it? They could have even just added Final Fantasy to the top of that.
Deluxe.
Yeah.
Plus. There we go.
Octopath Traveler, which is
Octopath Plus.
Yes.
Traveler Plus.
Yes, Traveler Plus. New Octopath. Okay. So they introduced a couple new characters.
XL.
Yeah, XL. Dolphin. All right. So they introduced 2 new characters. There was, I think you pronounce it, Tressa the Merchant, which had a really interesting interaction with people where you can just like offer to buy things off of them. So I hope you're not like buying people out of their most prized possession, but that's like the main interaction you have with villagers as you pass them by, and then. The other...
That sounded weird though. Like they were like, your main action is to purchase. Like I swing a sword. I cast spells. I purchase things.
Yeah.
I go shopping.
Yeah, I'm a shopper. Yeah.
I know some women that could totally be that. Just
Tressa is the ultimate like coupon clipper. So, but yeah. So there's Tressa, and then Alphen, which was the apothecary. Which is
a doctor, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it showed him at the grave at the beginning, and he was like saying how he wanted to like carry on first. I can't remember, but anyways, they both look like they have some depth to explore, and but what I really liked is they showed that they have their base job, but you can also add an extra job in battle, which is like one of my favorite features of previous Final Fantasy games, when you can like change the functionality of a character to suit a battle, as opposed to like, the original Final Fantasy, they're a fighter which becomes a knight, and they can do that. But like Final Fantasy 2, they started introducing like flexibility in a weird way, and then Final Fantasy 3 really got into the job system that could be switched without any penalty. So that's cool. You get some flexibility with your characters. So I like that. I keep loving the look of it. It just, every time I see it, I'm like, this is the most beautiful game that I've ever seen outside of Breath of the Wild. And it's fantastic. And then I was dead set on not buying any more physical games for the Switch. I have like 2, and I didn't want to get any more.
Right.
And then that stupid special edition had to I want them to make that possible, to get all the physical things without getting the physical game. The
digital.
Yes,
yeah.
If they allow, I'll pay more.
Give me a code.
I will pay more for that. I don't care. I want that pop-up book that comes with the special edition. The map looks great, the coin is cool, whatever. But I want
soundtrack.
The soundtrack. Well, yeah, I'll just stream that anyways. But but to be able to have that pop-up book would be fantastic, because it matches the art style of the game, and it just looks cool. But anyways, so this all launches July 13th. So I will definitely have an in-depth look at that once that releases. And nobody out there should try to talk to me for at least a week after that releases. So, but anyways, so that
very cool.
I'm excited for that.
Awesome. All right, next we have Travis Strikes Again. This is the next entry in the No More Heroes series, which I think many people didn't even think would happen, but they announced it a couple directs ago, I think, and it looks like we're getting some more in-depth information / video of the game. Kind of an interesting concept. Again, this is not really my style game, but the concept itself is kind of fun. Apparently Travis, who's this character in the game, is now inside a gaming machine himself in the story. And so he's going from like the gaming machine has multiple games that you could play, and so he's going from game to game, kind of wreaking havoc on the different types of video games and exterminating bugs from the game.
Yep.
So like actual game development bugs, not just actual physical bugs, and also defeating bosses and doing stuff like that. So, which maybe the bosses are the bugs. I don't know. Wacky, weird Japan stuff, but apparently it also has an adventure mode with a new story, which I believe is separate from the main campaign. I think that was that was what I got out of that. But if you're into that, cool. I'm not, but so you're wrong.
So you won't be getting a Nintendo Director's review of Travis Strikes Again.
Yeah, let's just be honest.
The aesthetic looks cool. I won't play it, but whatever.
Sure.
On to the next one.
Dark Souls Remastered. We heard about this before a little bit, or at least we rumored about it. And so yes, this is officially coming for the Switch, and I think people are pretty excited about that. There's going to be a Solaire of Astora amiibo.
It looks awesome.
Which it looks hilarious. Yep. It's just the guy like putting his hands up to heaven, right,
yeah.
or praying or something.
It reminds me of Monty Python.
Right, it totally looks like it, and so, which is I mean, it's probably a joke, right, from the game. I've never played Dark Souls myself,
haven't either,
but I'm assuming that's like a meme from the game, like it's some serious thing that it actually does, maybe to heal or something.
Yeah.
Again, I'm speaking totally outside of my element here, but and so it probably became a meme or something, and so now they're just making an amiibo of that of that pose, so, but I guess the pre-orders on them went pretty quickly. From what I understand about that. So anyway, that's coming on May 25th. This is the part that kind of was weird to me a little bit. A network test is coming before launch.
Yeah.
What? I thought Dark Souls was a single player game. What kind of network stuff do they need to do?
I'm wondering if they're going to, if I don't know, this is pure speculation, but when I saw that as well, I was thinking, why are they doing network testing on this? And then I thought, I wonder if they're going to bridge this with Monster Hunter type play, where it's take out these super insanely tough bosses, but we're going to throw you a little bit of a slow pitch here. Take it on with a bunch of your friends, that would be cool. That I would be all about that. So
maybe. So yeah, there's Dark Souls. It's coming. Now, the big, or at least the promoted game that they talked about, even when they teased the Direct itself, and they said, we're definitely giving you information about this and this and this, was Mario Tennis Aces, the new game.
Can I quick say before we dive into this that after watching the whole Direct, Mario Tennis Aces kind of felt like a dud to me.
I think so.
Why? Because there were so many other things in it that caught my interest more, where I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, I'll probably rent Mario Tennis Aces now at the library.
Right.
But anyways.
So my thought, and there definitely are a lot of details. I took a bunch of notes here, but we may not go through everything. My impression of this is I actually had a lot of fun with Mario Tennis on the N64. Was that the original?
I think it was. I don't think there was one on Super Nintendo, so no.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure it skipped GameCube too. So yeah, I had a ton of fun with that one on the N64. The mechanics were just super, super tight, and it was pretty simple to understand and everything. And it had character, and it had adventure, like a single player kind of thing you could do. And so very, very cool. So I had a lot of fun with that. I didn't play the Wii U one that came out. I heard it was kind of trash, but
I rented it. It was fun for half an hour.
Okay,
great. And then it wasn't fun anymore.
I gotcha. Yeah, so that I think has sort of lowered everyone's expectations of what this is going to be a little bit, and maybe rightly so. But there is some interesting things that they're adding to this game, both that are good and that are, I think, bad. But there's a saving grace. So they went into great detail in the Direct about the different types of shots that you could do. There's the zone shot, which essentially allows you to aim where you want your shot to. It's kind of a special move that you have to save up energy for or something. So kind of like in Breath of the Wild when you do a slow motion arrow shot, it freezes and you get to point exactly where you want to go, which obviously gives you a big advantage. But there's also this thing about like if your zone shot hits somebody and it takes down some of their health or something, or the racket's health, and if their racket gets hit like 3 times, then their racket breaks and the match is over. Which, man, that seems like kind of overpowered, but it must be difficult, I assume, to or maybe I said that about the zone shot. It's the special shot that can do that. There's zone shot, trick shot, and special shot. It gets kind of complicated, actually.
Yeah.
But I imagine if you sort of mastered all of these skills, that it might be, if both players are playing at a high level and they understand all these concepts, it probably could be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
my thought initially was like, man, this is getting so complicated, and why can't we just play tennis and all this stuff? And so then, but then right after that, they're like, don't worry though, there's still a totally different mode that's just called Simple Rules, and there's none of that tricksy business. It's just real tennis, which I appreciate a lot.
Yep.
Because I just want to go do that. And I only fear is that for like the quote story mode, they won't have that be an option for the story mode. They'll want to show off all their new features and stuff.
Right.
So we'll see. That said, it does say there's going to be online multiplayer and online tournaments. And you can do motion controls. There's something called swing mode. Use your Joy-Cons like a tennis racket, just like on the Wii. That does, of course, mean, and I'm assuming because only one of those Joy-Cons has the sensor on it, you have to have multiple sets of Joy-Cons in order to do that.
Right.
Is my guess. So it's not just like, the Wii remotes that were each individual. You didn't need the nunchuck or whatever. Anyway.
By the way, I was looking it up just a minute ago.
Okay.
Mario Tennis 64 was not the first.
No?
I can't believe we didn't remember this one. Mario's Tennis for the Virtual Boy.
That's right.
Silly us.
My bad. I played so much Virtual Boy.
Man, who didn't?
Actually, did you? I owned a Virtual Boy.
I didn't know this about you.
This is actually kind of a funny story. My cousin, who lives in Tennessee, I see him like once every 3 to 5 years. One year when I was a kid, maybe I was middle school or so. We went down to Tennessee. My family went down to Tennessee, and we spent Christmas with them. And here he gives me this big box of video game system. I'm like, what is this? It's a Virtual Boy.
He just gave you a Virtual Boy?
He gave me a Virtual Boy because it was his and he didn't want it anymore. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that what it was. I didn't know that it was terrible. I didn't know. But I distinctly remember getting it home, being all excited, setting it up, and like, I had to like set it on my bed because I didn't really have a good table or anything to do it on my room. So I set it on my bed, but then I had to like kneel next to my bed to lean my face into this thing.
The Virtual Boy.
And what did I play? It was something like it was a Mario type game, but you were like throwing Koopa shells. I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah,
and it was just really bad.
Wasn't it the Pipes one? It was kind of based on the old series.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I played it once, maybe twice, and
do you still have it? Please tell me you still have a Virtual Boy.
No, I don't.
Oh,
I don't still have
no.
that. What did I do? I think I might have just thrown it away. I should have kept it.
Yeah, it's actually worth a little bit of money now, but
is it?
Two collectors,
okay.
Yeah. So
sure. Well, I'm sure mine was not in mint condition. It certainly wasn't in box by any means.
Yeah.
That's right. That was the thing, is like everything was just kind of haphazardly thrown in a different box, and it was definitely not in its. Anyway, so that apparently, yes, I played lots of Mario Tennis on the Virtual Boy. No. So Mario Tennis Aces comes back June 22nd, and there will be a pre-launch online tournament. This is actually kind of cool. They're doing almost like a test punch or the test fire from the Splatoon and ARMS. And so it'll allow everyone to kind of get on there, I'm assuming early to mid, actually probably E3 time periods when they'll do that, because E3 is like the 12th or 13th of June.
Yeah.
So if I were to guess, I'd say that's probably when they're going to launch it. Go ahead.
Did you see, speaking of that tournament, did you see the ARMS tournament that is coming up?
Yeah, I think that's coming up later.
Oh, we're talking about that later?
Yeah, there's a spot for it
all
there.
right, we'll talk about that later. Moving on.
Spoilers. Yeah, they okay, but here's the question mark. Why do you think they've made so many Mario Tennis games in the last couple of years, especially since the last one bombed so hard? Do you think that's just like the development team being like, all right, guys, I really want another chance at this. Can we just fix this? Can we do this again? Or like, what about Mario Strikers? What about Mario Baseball? What about Mario Golf even? Like that? I
honestly think that developing a Mario Tennis game is really easy.
Okay.
I mean, you put them on a court, you hit a ball, and the other person hits it back. It's Pong. It's been going. It's the first game. And,
right. I suppose it's easy to put together, and I wonder how much of the engine they reused from the previous Mario Tennis game in the Wii U.
I think the cost benefit is higher, even though they probably don't make as much total, but they don't spend as much making it. So I think it's a better investment for them than a Strikers game or whatever. So
okay. I did like Strikers though. That was a fun game.
Sure. Yeah.
It was very fun. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, bring back arcade soccer. By the way, whoever. I don't care who. Somebody do it. FIFA's fine, but like arcade soccer is super fun. Okay. Oh, this letter O here. This made me very excited. Actually, we've been hoping for this and wishing for this for a long time. Captain Toad Returns. They're remaking it for Switch.
Yep. Which is great.
It's good.
Yeah.
Did you play the first one?
I did.
Or the whole game? Yeah.
I did.
I have not, and so I'm pretty excited about this. This is definitely my chance to jump back into it, and it's going to include some new levels.
Those look
some
great.
Levels from some Mario Odyssey. Yeah, so stuff from New Donk City, and did they show another one? I know that New Donk City was one of them.
Oh man,
I think they might have just showed the one.
I think it was just New Donk City as well.
Okay.
I'm excited for it. My daughter May really got into that game and can beat a number of the levels on her own, which is sweet. Like it's like that's great.
Well, and it's pretty low key, low stress. You know, like I remember the levels from Super Mario 3D World, because that's where that inspiration came from. Yeah, I remember being very nice.
Yep, it's
nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Is the word.
And I think one of the biggest things in difficulty comes from being able to manipulate the camera the way you need it and manipulating Toad. So like it's very like you're having to think movement on two different levels. So it you know. But it's a really good game. I really liked it. And once you get used to how the camera is really a vital component of the movement, then it works really well. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
It's coming to Switch, and there's a 3DS version too coming, apparently. Nice. Neat.
July 13th. So
July 13th. A lot coming in July.
Yeah, Octopath Traveler and Toad, same day.
And something else coming up.
Yep.
Speaking of coming up, eventually, Undertale.
Which I've deliberately not learned anything about that game because every time I see someone talk to me about they mention on Facebook, they're like, I love this game. Everyone who's played it just loves it. And I'm like, oh,
that's
really? Tell me about it. They're like, if you're ever going to play it, I'm not telling you anything. I'm like, okay, fair enough. So
you wait for it on Switch,
yes.
and you finally get your wish.
Yes.
Well, you will. Eventually, as they say. They literally said that in the trailer.
Yep.
It was a pretty clever trailer, though. There was all this tongue-in-cheek stuff about when we were going to switch on the lights or switch it on or something.
These amazing graphics.
Amazing graphics on a black screen. Yeah. Too bad you can't see them. Yeah. So yeah, Undertale coming to Switch. I know I've had one or two students talk very highly about that game.
Yeah,
in fact, one wouldn't shut up about it.
Right.
They're like, "Oh, it's so cool, and the soundtrack, and it's really it's so." So I hear the writing is very, very clever.
Yep.
Which if that trailer has anything to do with it,
I have had one thing spoiled for me, and the only thing I've had spoiled was that it's a game that you can play without fighting. So that's all I know, and like. Okay, cool. Like I'm excited to explore how you can play through this game. So, yeah.
Sweet.
The next one. This one blew my mind when I saw it, and I never really got into this series at all.
Me either.
I did in some of the mini game collections that came out on the PS2. My brother got some of those.
Mm-hmm.
I know that these games are beloved by many people, but I would never have guessed that this would be on a Nintendo system. And we're getting the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. It's the 3 Crash Bandicoot games. Yeah, and it's like it looks nice. They did a good job with the update of the graphics.
Sure.
And it launches.
Well,
July
it was very
10th.
popular.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It was very popular on the PS4.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, it just sold tons, which I think a lot of people were even surprised by, just how well it sold. And I mean, I guess people had been asking for something like this for a while, and then they finally gave it, and what do you know? It happened. It went well for them. So why not spread the wealth? But you're right though. It is just kind of blow your mind a little bit. Like Crash is on the Nintendo's thing.
Yeah, it's not the same level, but it's like seeing it's like seeing Mario on iOS. I guess it's like when that happened. Ask me 3 years before that happened if you'd ever see Mario on a smartphone. I'd be like. No
right.
way. So.
Never.
Yeah.
So yeah, another July release. That is July 10th. I have played about 6 or 7 minutes of Crash, the original game, and I played it within Uncharted 4.
Oh, nice.
There's a great sequence in that game that lets you Nathan Drake sits down with his wife. It's kind of a spoiler, not really. And they play the game, and he's like, yeah, because it's originally made by Naughty Dog,
sure,
the developers of Uncharted. So kind of great. Anyway, moving on here. We got so much more to go through.
By the way, I'm looking at the time on this. I think this episode is strictly a direct review episode. We can
basically
because we are just. This is going to be way too long.
It'll be great. We'll try to go quickly through these next couple, especially Little Nightmares, also a game that came out on the PS4 and Xbox and PC, I believe. It's a sort of a 2D platformer horror game.
Looks terrifying.
Very gross and disturbing and crazy.
It looks so scary. It's just like, I cannot get this with kids in the house. There's zero chance.
Right. But it's a complete edition coming out May 18th.
Yep.
So great. Also a game, speaking of games you should not play with kids, South Park, The Fractured But Whole.
Yes.
I have absolutely no desire to play this game ever.
I won't play it either. I know there's an audience for it, so.
Yeah.
All right.
You can get a season pass if you want, and it's available on April 24th. Hyrule Warriors, again.
Which was so fun. I really liked it. I won't get it again. But I really liked it.
It's a definitive edition, assuming there's all the DLC. Comes out May 18th. There's lots of.
If I bought that, I would just be buying everything that I already bought on the Wii U because I bought all the DLC on the Wii U, and it's like, I don't need to buy this again. So,
right.
Yeah.
No thanks. All right, and as we mentioned earlier, ARMS. There is a U.S. and Canada online open or a tournament, and they're putting a lot of time into it. It looks like. I think over the next couple of weeks, there's going to be. I don't exactly know how it works, but what do you like play online a certain number of matches, or do you have to like register somewhere? I don't know exactly how it works, but anyway, or do you know?
I don't know. I was
okay.
Yeah.
I was not paying attention. I was taking notes or something. Looks like the finals will be streamed on March 31st, and you can watch those live if you want. There's also a test punch, another test punch going on that weekend, so you can download the game for free and just play and enjoy, which makes a lot of sense. They're really trying to make ARMS into something.
Yeah. Have you ever played ARMS?
I played it for those 5 minutes that I played it at Great Big Live.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
I was very bad at it.
I
flailed my arms with the best of them.
I own it. I have probably put 2 hours into the game, and I feel that is a shame because it's actually as I was playing, the more I was playing it, the more you get used to how it plays. And it's a really good game. It's a really good game.
It does seem like there's a lot of strategy, in terms of what arm pieces you pick, what attachments I guess you pick, and what character you pick, and a lot of strategy, jumping or moving, and those kind of
does
things.
shine in when you're doing PvP, like when you have to, when you know that you're trying to outthink a person and not like programming, like that. That was really fun for me. I probably did. 2 or 3 online matches. The problem is I started playing it and then I got into Breath of the Wild and then I just didn't play it again. So, but it's
that tends to happen.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild has ruined a lot of other games for me. There needs to be like a Breath of the Wild recovery group, but and it's just going to be.
You can like it. It's okay.
It'll just be every other game sitting around a table. So, no, it's anyways, it's a fun game. So as I was watching that, I was like, I wonder if I could get like really good in a week and participate in this, but there's no way. So, but I actually will watch those finals. I'm really excited to see that, just to see how good people have gotten at this, to see how deep can you go with this game. So,
yeah, I suppose like any game, watching very high level play is pretty interesting.
Yep.
Even if you know just a little bit about the game, just to see people really go for it is pretty cool.
Yep.
As long as you understand the basic concept.
Right.
Don't try to watch like Dota or League of Legends or any of those crazy deep MOBAs and stuff. Just don't do it. It's worthless.
The thing is, I've played some MOBAs, and when I watch those finals, I'm completely lost. I enjoy what I've played of those games, but it's like, man, that's a level that I can't comprehend. It's just insane. So
totally. All right, so from ARMS to Splatoon 2. Definitely a whole bunch of new DLC. They spent a lot of time on the Direct in this segment, actually.
Yep.
So let's try to run through this really quick. So version 3.0, there's 100 new pieces of gear, new stages, including Piranha Pit and Camp Triggerfish and Wahoo World. There is a rank X, which is higher than S+. I assume that's an online ranking kind of thing. And there's the big one. It was the Octo expansion. And this is the first paid DLC. Obviously, they've been doing free DLC for a long time now, but this will be the first Octo expansion. Includes a new single-player mode, and you get to play as a new character, Agent 8, who apparently lost her memory. And this
Looks
is
interesting.
yeah, it's significant because she's an Octo person. Whoa. She's an Octo character. And so, yeah, the trailer itself for this Octo expansion was a little bit weird because it's just like, this Octo character walking down a subway for like minutes.
Yep.
And all these other characters. Again, maybe if I'd played this, a lot more Splatoon, I'd understand more of the characters she was passing and, going over. But it did seem a little bit extended more than necessary. But again, I know there's a lot of people who are really, really into that game, and I'm glad for the success of it. I think it's.
Yep.
I think it's great that people are like that a lot. Not super for me, but
the next time I see it on sale, I'm buying it. I
think so. Okay,
I have to. I've talked about how much I think it's the perfect game for me for so long, and I don't know why I haven't bought it. So I'm going to rectify that.
Because Breath of the Wild,
right? Once again, Splatoon 2 will be at that table of the recovery game.
Right? Very good. It's kind of like, did you ever play the Epic Mickey games on the Wii?
I played like 10 minutes of the first Epic Mickey. That was so good, and I didn't play it.
It was a good game. It was kind of that same. It was, the characters you met were the lost characters, or the relegated to obscurity characters from Disney's world, which was a kind of a cool concept. But actually, once I played through the entire first game, I didn't get to play. I still want to play the second one someday. I hear it's a musical, which is kind of fun. But because you don't know these characters, and but you immediately associate Mickey with Disney, you're like, this should be so cool, but I don't know who you are, or I maybe have heard of you once, and you're not endearing, or the nostalgia wasn't really there for the Disney characters. So it was a mixed bag, I guess. Okay. But I do want to try the second one at some point. It sounds kind of fun.
That got left behind for me because the Wii U came out, so I got it at the end of the Wii's life cycle. So.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that was the Nintendo Direct. We made it. We did it.
Still more news.
We
are not going to get to what we've been playing. Let's burn through the news, and this is still going to be over an hour-long episode.
Yeah, that's okay. So we were going to spend a lot more time on this, but this happened like 2 weeks ago at this point. So the news story that was going to be our top story for this episode before the whole Nintendo Direct thing started was that the Switch has officially turned 1 year old back on March 3rd. And I guess let's just do a hot take here. Some of the questions were: how has the Switch impacted your gaming life, if at all? What do you think has led to the Switch's success? What does Nintendo have to do going forward in 2018? Answer any or all of those, Mark.
I was playing a lot of games on the Wii U still, so it didn't change my gaming life too much, outside of being able to bring the console with me to bed, which I've only done probably 5 or 6 times, and I've played out on the back porch a couple times, but I haven't gone portable with it too much, so it hasn't impacted my gaming life too much, but it has been nice to have that convenience for those few moments where I'm like, I would like to play this game when I'm out. So I've liked that. What led to the Switch's success is, I think, those things that I mentioned that I don't use is the convenience factor of the portability of it. But
well, there's definitely something to be said for, when I only had my Wii U or my 3DS, I would occasionally, I would really just play my 3DS before I went to bed, or if I was, on the road or something. But nowadays, I can pick up the Switch for literally 2 minutes and just play for those 2 minutes because it's so quick. Rather than whether it was just the Wii U, it was like an event to sit down and turn it on and boot it up,
pour a
and
drink
get ready to go.
Start the coffee, wait for the coffee to get done, get the coffee, and then they're finally ready to go.
Yeah. So, and I remember especially early on when I first got my Switch in the first month or so, I got Puyo Puyo Tetris, which is fantastic. And that game was so easy to just pick up, literally play one match and then put it back down.
Sure.
And that I might do that short, like I've got a few minutes to kill right before I leave for school or something in the morning, and yeah, I'll just go grab my Switch and boom, then I leave.
Right.
You know, it's would never have done something like that if it was just on the Wii U.
I think
So
the last question that you asked was, what does Nintendo have to do going forward? And I think my answer happened with the Direct. I was afraid that, like, okay, all these heavy hitters have come out, and, like, I felt like they were saying the Direct was Mario Tennis. And I was like,
right.
Is the well drying up already? Like, they have, I was going to say, like, they have to secure bigger games, more games, more games. And it's like, oh, they just had to have a Direct. And
right.
So there we go. I think they're fine. Like,
totally. And I think this was the perfect stopgap between, you know, their last one in January and E3. So this is just the right. It does make, you know, think about this, Mark. They showed us Smash Brothers here, or at least they revealed it, right?
Right.
What do they have planned for E3? You know, I mean, obviously they'll probably blow it out, I assume. But
I think it'll be that and Metroid Prime. I think they're
right. Yeah. But it still seems, you know, if they're not going to use that as an announcement video,
right.
What else are they going to announce
Yeah.
at E3?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Very cool.
All
right, so Switch is 1 year old.
Yeah, the next
Eat
one.
Cake.
Eat cake. This next one, we'll do really quick, but I am so pumped. Diablo 3 is coming to the Switch. Oh man.
Confirmed.
Oh man.
You a big Diablo guy?
I am a big Diablo guy in that I've watched my friends play that a ton back in the day, and I love the idea of it. So I'm excited to check that one out. So
that's cool. All right, Mark. I know from experience that you've played at least a little bit of Mario Odyssey Balloon World.
Yes.
So give me your quick impressions.
It's really easy to get a lot of coins. So it's sped up 999 power moons to the point where I think maybe I'll do that now. But I like it. I don't love it.
Same.
Yeah. I think there are things they can do to make it better, and what those things are, I don't really know. It feels like it's hitting on something that could be great, but
I mean, it's just a little extra add-on thing. You know, it's a little frustrating sometimes when you like. You know, it actually is pretty good about directing you where the balloon is, but like if you just do a wrong turn or you miss a jump or whatever when you're just trying to find it, let alone actually, you know, execute on it. It's frustrating sometimes to do that first time or two, and then, you know, actually
and burn through coins. Yeah. I wish that there was a way to say, like, I would like to, like, if it's one where you know it's going to be harder, if it's just like I'm going to pay an additional 150 coins or something to just have unlimited time, and it doesn't count as a balloon pop, but I want to try to find this, because there's the one in Mushroom Kingdom. There's that glitch where people you get a bike and you hop backwards on it and you can fall through the bridge to a point where you can't get it. It's like 25 meters down on an angle from where you start. You cannot get it. And I wasted so much money trying to find that coin until I read online, oh, some people, it's an exploit. It's a glitch. So
wow. I hadn't heard about that.
So I would love to be able to pay extra right off the bat if that was an option, and just be like, let me just explore and see where this person put it. And maybe that defeats the purpose of it. I don't know, but yeah. But it's a good idea. It could be tweaked. So
sure, that's cool. I'm not really gonna put a ton more time into it, I don't think.
Yeah.
Maybe someday if I get really motivated and I want to get the rest of those costumes.
Yeah.
To keep my 100% status. That's the thing about DLC, is it kills your 100%
status. You know,
jerks.
I gotta say, I have one that I placed in the Wooded Kingdom. No one has popped it yet, and I don't think anyone's gonna pop it. It's perfectly placed. It requires like a pixel perfect jump to pull it off, and I pulled it off by chance the first time, and I was like, is that hard? And I went and tried to duplicate it. I could not duplicate that. And I know that people, because I've gotten money from that one so many times, I know people aren't getting that one. So, yeah.
That's cool. All right, let's keep moving here. This one's kind of more interesting than anything. It's there was a LinkedIn posting for somebody who works at Retro Studios, of Metroid Prime fame, of course. We haven't heard for several years now what they are working on. I think the last thing they made was the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and we're assuming that's not what they're making, even though there is a remake coming to Switch, or a port coming to Switch.
I forgot about that. Jeez. There's a lot.
Right. So they the profile said something about they're looking for a person to hire with specializations in, quote, world building and non-linear storytelling. So this would fall right in line, with what they did with Metroid Prime originally. Metroid Prime does so much with environmental storytelling and just, not at least the original Metroid Prime did. They got a little, like the second and third one talked to you a lot more, but especially the third one. But hopefully this means that they're kind of going back to the roots. I don't know whether this means one of Nintendo's other franchises. Obviously it doesn't mean Metroid Prime 4 because Bandai Namco is the one who's working on that. But who knows? It's interesting anyway. Do you think we'll get a reveal from them about at least what they're working on at E3 finally?
I think it goes without saying it has to be Dusty Diamond's All-Star Softball remake.
Oh, right.
HD
yeah, you got it.
plus new.
That's right. I
don't know. I'm excited
Galaxy
for
Edition.
Whatever that could be.
Yeah, who knows? So there you go. It is what it is. That's all we know.
Yeah. All right.
That's all we know.
Well.
And we are not going to do that segment.
No. Why don't we just? At this point, we're already if we go into what we've been playing and everything, we're looking at by far our longest episode. So longer than our year in review, I think. So,
we could.
Why don't you just?
I mean, you haven't been playing a lot, right? You can do yours pretty quickly.
How about? I've done some Zelda DLC. I've gotten back into that, so that's been great. And then I have a quick rant.
Okay.
Mobile gaming sucks. There we go. End of rant.
Agreed.
As I've been sick, I was like, all right, I'm going to download some games because I don't want to get like my flu germs all over the Switch because my girls will play it. So I'm playing Hill Climb 2, which is
sounds riveting.
Yeah, Hill Climb 1 was kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. Hill Climb 2
okay.
it gets like it teases you along until you get to the point where you've put enough time into it, and then you're only facing the hardest competition. You can't win without paying probably $50 to $60. It's like, make mobile gaming a flat fee. Just make people used to the fact that like you pay $5 for a small game or $20 for a big game, and it's like, I would pay for a decent game that doesn't. Man.
I hate that too.
Yeah.
But the problem is they make so much more money the other way.
I don't know how they do. Who are the idiots that like spend $50 on a mobile game, like hundreds of dollars on mobile?
Try 500, or 1,000.
My goodness,
whales, man.
Yeah,
that's what they call them. Yeah, I totally agree. I play almost no mobile games or even free to play games on Steam and stuff. I don't play hardly any of those either.
It's all a cash grab. It's just awful.
It's bad. Okay, so I'll kind of go through my things real quick. First of all, I want to highlight really quick a game that I just purchased this week that I really don't want people to miss. It was out on Steam. It's been out on Steam for a couple of years now, actually, but it just came to Switch and it's only like $10. Please don't skip over the game. It's pretty cool. It's called Typo Man.
Oh yeah.
And it's really good actually. It's really clever. So if you're not familiar, basically it's kind of a Limbo inspired aesthetic, black and white-ish, and there's the world is like crumbling and falling apart, and there's just letters everywhere. Kind of weird, but like everything is made out of letters. Bridges and like ladders are made out of a successive stream of letter H's, one on top of each other.
Sure.
And bridges have letters in between them, and enemies form out of letters, but they're always like letters that like the letters of the word evil come together, and they kind of form into your main character. His name, well, we call him Hero. He doesn't really have an official name, but his body is made up of the letters HERO. It's really cool, and so what's really nice about this is that it's just everything is based on the letters that are in the game, and your job is to kind of go around and you solve puzzles by basically shifting letters around to make new words. So, for instance, let's see, if you go to a word that on the ground there, it's written as what is it? Pats or no? Like the word trap is on the ground, and you go up to it and you get too close and it like swings over and it almost hits you, right? But then like if you slide the letter S up to it when it swings over, it turns into strap, and all of a sudden it's just a strap there on the ground and it doesn't harm you anymore. So things like that, or where you change. You add like a bridge into a section there because you put or you make a platform rise. So you change the letters that are on the ground there into the word raise, and it goes up and it makes a bridge. Just really clever things like that. And I'm not explaining it the best, but I definitely recommend you check it out because it's. I think I originally played it on the Wii U. There was like a demo that was available, and I played that. It was cool. But I'm glad I finally picked it up and it's on Switch now. So definitely play Type of Man. It's cool. I played a tiny bit of Stardew Valley, a tiny bit of Lego City, which is good. My Zelda update for this week. Yes, I'm still playing Zelda. Had two cool experiences. First of all, I went back to the Great Plateau and actually explored it again for the first time in like 150 hours. And it was really kind of fun to go back there because all of a sudden almost instantly I found like 3 or 4 Korok seeds right away. Just because I knew what to look for now. There's not actually a ton left to do in that area, or at least maybe I was just overly thorough in the beginning sections of the game, and so I kind of saw everything. But it was really cool to go back to those original areas and actually explore them again and see them in the context of, I'm not afraid to go up this mountain even though it's cold because I got all the equipment for everything in the world. Right. So that was pretty neat. And then I didn't spend too terribly long on there, but I did kind of explore it all again. It was pretty cool. I got some more Korok seeds. And then one other cool experience just happened yesterday. I was out, just kind of out and about, and I ran into this white-maned Lionel, which, if I'm not mistaken, white manes, I believe, are the strongest type of Lionel, or is that silver?
Silver.
I don't remember. Silver is? Okay. So I don't know if I've run into a silver Lionel at this point, but I know I've run into white mane, and they are.
Yeah, silver Lionels have a black their main part of their body is black.
Okay.
But the white ones are super tough. The red ones are tough.
Yeah, I mean, all Lionels are not easy. Anyway, so it turned into this big epic fight, and it was kind of interesting the way it worked out. I eventually won, but we were fighting in this sort of sparsely wooded area, just sort of in a little valley there with some trees and bushes and stuff. And so, we were going all around, and he would charge, and he would swing his giant sword and everything, and he was constantly knocking trees down, and, the environmental kind of effects were pretty cool. But his other attack was, to just shoot these huge flame balls just all around after me, and then he would, do this big ring circle of flame. So there was fire all over the place. And finally, I got my last hit on him, took all of his sweet gear, which is really good stuff. Yes, it is. But then I happened to look around, and it was kind of like that the lobby scene in The Matrix. You just look around and see all this carnage and destruction of what just took place in this battle.
That's awesome.
And and I happened to look over. There's all these trees fell down and everything, and there were on two sides of the of the battle area there were roaring campfires. What? How did that, they're not even there? And I eventually kind of pieced it together. The Lionel must have chopped down a tree with his sword blast. Then later on,
chopped it into a bundle.
Chopped up the tree into a bundle of wood, and then shot flames after me
awesome.
And lit it on fire.
That is awesome.
So there I am. I could just sit down and I could take a rest if I wanted, sleep for a night. It was pretty great. So again, the simplicity and the complexity, the detailedness of that game just continues to astound me.
That's awesome.
It was pretty sweet. So that's what I've been playing.
Awesome. Well, I think that brings us to our show wrap up, and we actually didn't even allow for a segue into what we've been playing, so that's fine. That makes it a lot easier in post. So, let's wrap this thing up. Brad, take it away.
All right, let's do it. So yes, if you excuse me, we want to thank you for listening so much. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't like, give us some feedback. We'd appreciate it. Go on iTunes, leave us a review. For Nintendo Directors, it helps the show get some visibility. It'd be awesome. You can find Nintendo Directors on all the podcast services, or at least most of them. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Podomatic, all the things. Or at least, yeah. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at N_Directors. We usually just post the most recent episodes that are up there. If you want to contact us, you can be part of the show. You can write in your questions, comments, all those things. Send emails to nintendodirectorspodcast@gmail.com. Remember, this is a bi-weekly show, so every other week. So we actually going to be recording up again here pretty quickly. But our next show should post on the March 22nd. That's the night. That's 2 Thursdays from now. And so yeah, hopefully everybody will be healthy and good to go. Hopefully I don't start getting the flu now.
Yeah, no kidding. The plague.
So far, fingers crossed, I've managed to avoid it this year, which I'm very thankful for. But I guess I just ruined it for myself.
You're done for.
I'm done. Gone. Sorry. See you in a couple weeks. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. Thanks so much for listening for Nintendo Directors. We appreciate you and hope you enjoyed it. Anything for the good of the cause, Mark?
And that's it.
All right. We will
see you in a week and a half.
Yeah. See you next time. Right.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you, everyone.